This is Renelle, and welcome to Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. And here he is now, your host, my main man, Rod Brooks.
Thank you very much, Renelle. I am Rod Brooks, and welcome everyone to Quality Hang. And as always, I'm joined on this broadcasting adventure by my partner in crime, my friend, the co-host of Quality Hang. He is Marcus Osborne. What up, man?
What it do, man? What it do?
It do what it do. Happy Monday, if there is such a thing.
It's Monday.
It's you know what? Of all the Mondays, this has been one.
This has been a Monday.
And not in a bad way, not in a negative way at all. It's just that as far as Mondays, this has been a real Monday ass day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right there with the other Monday.
It's like sometimes you might get like a Monday that feels like, yo, dog, this Monday feels like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And then sometimes your Monday is just the most Monday of Mondays in the history of Mondays.
Facts. Facts. Monday it up.
So a lot to get into, and we shall do that. But as always, we start the show by thanking our presenting sponsor, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns, 3 locations to choose from: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. At all 3 locations, they all do the same great things. Fantastic food from a wildly diverse menu, a craft beer selection that is absolutely outstanding, and a live entertainment, live music selection at all 3 venues that is even more outstanding than the aforementioned outstanding food and craft beer selection. And it's so diverse. That's the thing. You'll get, musical touring acts from around the country, but you can have comedy nights, or you can have open mic nights, or you can have country line dancing night at any of the 3 Hop Monk locations. And what I love Hop Monk about is there's a place for local artists to go and be seen by their adoring local fans. So see what they have coming up as far as live entertainment is concerned at Hop Monk by going to their website, hopmonk.com, and definitely follow them on all the socials. Even more, make sure you check them out in Sonoma, Sebastopol, or in Novato. First thing I want to do, Marcus, is apologize to you specifically and only because I did something a few weeks ago that was completely and totally wrong. And quite frankly, you are such a good friend that not only have you not called me out on this, you have not called our friendship into question. And I appreciate you for that, because I tried to tell you that Geno Smith was going to be a good quarterback for your Raiders. And let me tell you something, dog. Man, was I wrong. I mean, that is something that if it doesn't just completely and totally fracture a friendship, it should at least put it in like
why?
That should be on friend probation, dog.
You know why it doesn't? It's because you were simply trying to be supportive and you tried to bright side it. And I love when people try to do that. And so I'm not mad. As always, I remain skeptical until I see otherwise. But
and that you did. You were skeptical from the beginning, but you allowed. And you know what? And here's the thing. I'm glad you could see the good in what I was trying to do to get you to feel good about your Raiders and Geno Smith being the quarterback of the Raiders.
I mean, my feeling is it's still the same. Like, okay, these guys are losing, but I watched them lose, and it's not like I can't put my finger on it. I can't explain it to people. But I've been watching this team for about 50 years, and I've seen a lot of losing the past 20.
Yeah.
This is unlike others because I feel like there's a plan. Like there may be a little bit of tanking going on. The defense is mediocre, which is far better than it's been the last 25 years.
That is true.
And you actually have some skill talent On
Yes.
the offensive side, on
Yes.
the running backs, the receivers, the tight end, there's talent there.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we had any semblance of decent quarterbacking,
Or an offensive line, which would probably help
the
your
line,
quarterbacking, but
line is trash. It's trash. But if you got a guy like maybe a guy who could scramble, maybe who can move around a little bit, make some a playmaker, not a bad decision maker, this team still has a chance to win. I feel like it's just a bad team, not a hopeless squad, not the hopeless squad I've watched for the past 20 years.
well, you know what? And again, what you just demonstrated there is why you're a good person, why you're a great friend, and why I am so happy to be your friend, because you can look at the totality of the Raiders and find some good in it, even if that good is, well, it's not as objectively terrible as it had been for the vast majority
Yeah.
of
I mean,
the
you
last
gotta go,
20
you know
to 30
what?
years.
Listen, there is something there. There's something there. Like I can see it. I like the fact that Pete Carroll is there, and it's funny to hear people going, "Oh, football's passed Pete Carroll by." Have you seen the team he's coaching?
Right.
It ain't Pete Carroll. I will say that I probably would have benched Geno Smith after the first quarter, but that's just me because I could be an asshole like that. I understand what he's doing, but and by the way, and the reason I say that they may be doing maybe a little tanking going on because OP was like, "Nah, we're gonna start him next week. We start him next week." And I'm here for it.
Oh man, you're a good man, Marcus Osborne.
Let's get a decent quarterback prospect.
You're a good man, and you deserve better from your football team. Okay, yeah, I want you to know that you deserve better. Man, what a week 5 in this NFL season, and we're still in the midst of it. KC just scored a touchdown late in the game. They are up 28-24 on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if this flag is against the Jaguars, looks like the Chiefs will escape with a 28-24 win. But nope, looks like it's going against the Chiefs as the Jaguars are deep in Chiefs territory in the red zone. So there's 30 seconds left. 28-24 KC on top of the Jaguars. KC 2-2, winners of their last 2 games. And the Jaguars, off the strength of their win a couple of Thursdays ago against the Niners, or a couple of weeks ago against the Niners, are sitting at 3-1 and in second place in the NFC South. Or AFC South. Let's get to the Niners because they kicked off this week 5 with an improbable victory down in LA against the Rams. And I said this, I did Sports Sunday last night after the Bills Patriots game, another game that turned out to be very, very good. And the Jags just scored on a Trevor Lawrence scramble. Did he? I mean, I just saw him on the ground a second ago, and then I look down at my notes and I look up and he's standing in the end zone. But there's a flag, so a lot of things happening.
Holding.
In this, what was it holding?
I don't know.
It looks like no, it looks like it's going to stand. Looks like that was a post. That was a post touchdown, a post possession flag. So 23 seconds left. Assuming the Jags are going to go just for the extra point, it'll be 31-28. Although maybe I should not assume the extra point. Anywho, Niners get what has been a fun week 5. Get it started with their victory down in LA, going into that game as 8.5-point underdogs. And I was saying on Sports Sunday last night after the game on NBC that this might have been the greatest weekend in Niner history, and they didn't even play a game on Sunday. Play on Thursday, all right? So they're 4-1 after 5 games. Beat a division team in the Rams, all right? Niners up 3-0 in the division. 2 of those games on the road. Then they watch Seattle lose in hilarious fashion. Watch Arizona lose in even more hilarious fashion. And then watch the Eagles blow, I believe, was a 14-point second half lead to the Broncos. All of that shook out. And again, very, very early. You can't start, thinking about division titles or anything of that nature. We're still 3 weeks away from Halloween, but all of that happened as the Niners and Niner fans were sitting back watching. And now the Niners, again, very early, but at 4-1, they have the best record in the NFC based on, again, being 4-1 and also tiebreakers. For all of that to happen after the Niners being an 8.5-point underdog, pulled out a game in overtime against the Rams team that was cooking with gas.
Mm-hmm.
This might have been one of the greatest weekends in the history of the franchise without even playing a football game. That's wild.
What a charmed existence this team has had this year. I mean, if this magic keeps up, who knows what can happen? But literally every single imaginable break has gone their way. And you need a little bit of luck, particularly when you have the injuries that they have. You need a little bit of luck and things to go your way. And part of that, though, is making sure you have a consistent level of play.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to win every game, but you need a level of play you can expect from week to week. And if you're a decent team, you can expect to give yourself a shot at the end of the game, which is what they've done all season long thus far.
And they're making their own luck as well, winning all of these games. They're all one-score games. And these were games last year that the Niners would have lost for a variety of reasons. But the first thing that jumps out into my mind is they finally got some stabilization at the kicker spot.
Yeah.
Think about how many times they were in these situations last year and field goals that could have either put them ahead or tied the game or gotten them closer where they couldn't gotten another shot. Those field goals were missed and it put them behind the 8 ball. To get some stabilization as far as special teams is concerned. But also you go into these games with no Kittle, which means no run game, no Kittle, no Ayuk, no Pearsall, no Jennings, no Bosa, no Purdy, obviously, and I'm probably missing a couple of other guys to go into these games. Yeah, no rushing touchdowns, no interceptions by your defense. To go into these games and to be able, as you say, to play to a certain standard, to play at a certain level where you're obviously playing at a high level, but you're keeping these contests close. And then all you have to do is make plays at the end. And, I've said this repeatedly over the course of this now, 5th week of the NFL and this Niners season. The one question mark I had going into this season about the Niners was how long would it take for the rookies on defense, for those guys to play to the level that you talked about, that they need to play to for them to be successful individually and for the Niner defense to be as good as it needs to be. And you think about the first few weeks of the season and the plays that were made late. Bosa would have played late. Warner, who's just playing at not just an all-pro and defensive player of the year type level. He's never going to get it because defensive players don't get it, but he's playing like an MVP if you're really watching and you're really paying attention to the game. But Fred Warner making big plays. I mentioned Bosa. I mentioned Huff. Well, Bosa's not there. But guess who made big plays? Upton Siegel made a big play in that game against the Rams, even though he was getting torched in the past game. They were actively going at him. Alfred Collins and Mykel Williams, if they don't crush the right side of the Rams defensive line on that short yardage play that was eventually stuffed by Siegel and Lenore coming in there and Fred Warner coming in there, if Huff and Collins, 2 rookies, don't cave in the right side of the Rams offensive line, the Niners don't have a chance to stop that play. To see the Niner rookies come as quickly as they have to be integral and helpful parts of this Niner defense, and for them to do it pretty much right off the bat, and they've gotten better as we've gotten now into 5 coming up to 6 weeks of the season has been very, very impressive.
Hey, man, that's a really good point you make about how well Fred Warner's playing. Like the level you have to play to be even thought of as an MVP as a defensive player is insane. I think only 2 players have ever been MVPs on defenses: Alan Page and, of course, the great Lawrence Taylor back in 1986. 2 ever. So imagine how well those dudes had to play to get that award. If Fred Warner's playing out of his ass, it would be shocking if he won, obviously. But you really do bring a good point. You got to be playing really well just to be considered in that conversation.
And listen, as great as he is and as important as he is, the Niners are not just winning defensively based on what he's doing singularly. Yes, him being there, him having the talent and him being the focus, being paid attention to by opposing defensive coordinators. Obviously, he's the hub. He's the sun. Everybody revolves around him. But it's not just Fred Warner. Haven't even mentioned Deommodore Lenoir and the job that he's doing. By the way, Jaguars come back and win it. So that Niners loss to the Jaguars, not that it was a bad loss to begin with, but that loss to the Jaguars by the Niners, which Jaguars beat the Chiefs 31-28 here, finishing out what has been a fun week 5. This Jacksonville squad looking pretty damn good. But again, it's not just Fred Warner. It's that entire defense without Nick Bosa. To see it play the way that it's been playing, like I said, over the last few weeks has been very, very impressive.
Yeah, what can you say? They've won these games. Like defensive play at the end has sealed these victories for these guys. So welcome back, Robert Saleh.
He helps.
Glad he's here, helping the squad win. I've been thinking about the NFL and professional football and what it's become over the past 20 years. And it's really difficult to just simply out-talent people anymore. Just because the talent is spread so evenly. It really has become, hey, coaching is as important as it's ever been in the NFL.
Yes.
Quarterback play is insanely important, obviously. If you don't have a decent quarterback, like no more of these like fake quarterbacks who's gonna like what they call them, a game. I wouldn't even say game manager, but those guys who would get you some like courtesy wins throughout the year, and everybody think, oh, this team is going to. If you don't have yourself a very, very, very good quarterback, you have no chance.
Here's the thing: you can't hide quarterbacks anymore.
No,
you used to be able to hide them.
Yeah, you got a running game. Cool.
You used to be able to stick them in the system and tell them all I need. And this is still true, but with certain guys having limited skill set, you would tell them was, don't screw it up.
Yes, sir.
Don't throw interceptions. Don't turn the ball over. Don't take sacks in positions where taking sacks will be detrimental to kicking a field goal or things of that nature. You used to be able to hide quarterbacks. Now you can't hide these guys anymore. And because of that, a premium has been placed on guys who, I'm not talking about crazy mobile quarterbacks, but on some level, you got to be able to move or you got to be able to get the ball out quickly. If you can't move, then you damn sure better not be holding on to the football. And like you think about Mac Jones, right? Not fleet of foot by any stretch of the imagination. Clearly, the guy's an athlete, but not fleet of foot by any stretch of the imagination. But what has he done in the 3 games that he played in? Gotten the ball out quick.
That's it.
1 interception to the 6 touchdowns and close to 100 attempts at throwing the football. So, today, if you got somebody who can process, you can get rid of the ball quick, okay, you can go from that point.
Well, that's Brock Purdy's superpower.
Yeah.
Process and get rid of it, and he's actually a very mobile guy too.
Yep.
If you can't move around, unless you're somebody like Tom Brady who just has the magic of getting rid of that damn ball, and he's like, how did he get rid of that?
Yeah,
how did he do that?
What a great week 5. We looked at the schedule on Friday,
Those games look trash.
And you're just looking like, all
They
right,
look trash.
there's a couple games. The first one that jumped out at you was Bucks and Seahawks, and that
Yep.
turned out to be a great game, 38-35 with the Bucks winning. But go all the way back to Thursday with the Niners beating the Rams 26-23 in OT. Then Sunday morning in London, Vikings Browns. Aesthetically, might not have been the greatest football game.
Yeah, that's okay.
You know what? It was competitive to the end.
Yeah,
21-17. Raiders coach, we won't mention that. Just pretend it didn't happen. But Broncos
By the
Eagles.
way, they quit. I should say they quit. That's wrong of me to say. But after Geno's 19th pick, they're like, I guess we ain't gonna win this.
It got to the point where they started doing the math and went, all right, let's get in the survival mode here.
Because I mean, that game really turned on all the turnovers.
Of course.
Look at 40-3. I'm like, okay, that looks worse than what the game I actually watched.
Because listen, does a turtle quit when it goes in its shell? No, the turtle's like, I got this shell. This is what it's for, to keep me from getting my ass kicked. So I'm just gonna go in the shell. All the Raiders did, they just went in their shell. All right.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough.
Yeah, that's all it was. Broncos Eagles turned out to be a good game. Dolphins Panthers turned out to be a good game. Titans Cardinals turned out to be a hilariously good game.
Ravens got spanked.
Ravens got spanked. I wouldn't call it a good game, but Ravens got spanked. Lions Bengals, that was a decent game. Patriots Bills last night, that was a good game. We got some really good contests in week 5, starting with the Niners and what they did against the Rams, and what it proved once again, and what we got tonight with the Jags on basically the last second touchdown, beating the Chiefs 31-28. What it proves is the NFL, man. It's the best entertainment in the country.
With the Jags, I gotta respect the turnover game. Like every game, they getting 2-3 of them.
Yeah,
every game. Now, if that doesn't happen for them, do they have this record? I'm gonna assume not, because it's not like they've been a dominant offensive team. But these turnovers have definitely swung the field in their favor multiple times.
But that's the thing, though, is you keep giving these offenses, even if they are offenses that are flawed to a certain extent, if you keep giving these offenses the ball, eventually you're going to get hurt. It's just that the way the game is played, the way the rules are, that teams are going to get the ball, and they're going to get the ball down the field, and and guys are now coaches. It was, I'd say, 10 years ago that going forward on 4th down, coaches were like, no, doing that.
Nope.
Now it's almost rare for a coach to say, we're going to punt it away.
4th and 2, 4th and 1, let's go.
They're going for it. Absolutely going for it. Yeah. So it's just, it's not a different game, but you can see the evolution of it. And I think it's all coming to a head in what we've seen here over the last few weeks.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Look, the season will be entertaining, if nothing else.
Yeah. And conversely, I didn't mention a thing about baseball.
And not for me. And I actually watched some baseball on TV. I watched the Cubs game Saturday afternoon, and I'm like, yeah, I've seen enough.
Yeah.
I've seen enough. I'm good.
Yeah.
But I'm glad people are watching again.
Yeah. It just, comparatively speaking, and maybe this is unfair to compare, but both of these entertainment options are happening at the exact same time, so it's almost impossible not to compare them from a comparison standpoint. What we saw from week 5, just a almost damn near middle of the year NFL week, was significantly more entertaining than anything we've gotten from the postseason so far. For me, the most entertaining thing that's happened in the baseball postseason was what the Blue Jays did to the Yankees over the weekend, when they just I think they were down, what was it, 11-0, 11-1 at one point during the game, with Vlad Guerrero Jr. Hitting that grand slam. But baseball playoffs, and again, we're at the beginning of it, with it being the division series, and we'll tell you what has happened so far, what is happening right now between the Cubs and the Brewers. But again, just from an entertainment standpoint,
Mhm.
It's just when you go straight up with the NFL, goodness gracious.
No, it is a tough compete at this point.
Yeah, very tough compete. Mariners and Tigers are tied 1-1. Toronto, as I mentioned before, started beating the Yankees across the face on Saturday, and they have not stopped. Toronto leads the Yankees 2-0. All of these series, by the way, if you don't know, are best of five. So first to
Thank
three
God.
wins. Yeah, right. Dodgers won earlier this evening, so they are up 2-0 on
That's
the
a wrap.
Phillies. And the Cubs and Brewers are tied at 1, but the Brewers in Game 3 have a sizable lead on the Cubs at this point.
Yeah, that's a wrap. That is a wrap.
Which one?
boy.
Toronto Yankees?
Yeah, man.
God, I hope so.
That is going to be done. Thank God it's best of 5.
Yeah.
Ooh, jeez. I know
Yeah.
you're going to talk about those Warriors.
Everybody's saying positive things about Jonathan Kuminga. Can we just keep it that way?
I have to admit, I was impressed with his little stint with the Warriors because he did what they've been asking him to do. And it looked great. I mean, he played, I think his first 6 minutes or something like that, he had like 4 or 5 rebounds.
There you go.
What
There
do we
you go.
Who are you? Like,
There you
play
go.
that way, you'll be around a long time.
There you go.
And you're going to get your shots.
There you go. And it was fun seeing Steph look like Steph.
Mid-season form already?
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
insane.
that's just, I mean, would we expect anything less?
I kind of was expecting a little bit less. But the big story is your boy, LBJ.
How you get to be my boy? When did I take ownership of him? How is he my boy?
This is it for this dude, right? It's the retirement, right?
You think so?
So everybody's talking about the decision part 2. By the way, if folks don't know, LeBron's got this thing set up for tomorrow morning, the decision 2. Everybody's saying that he's going to announce his retirement.
No, he's not.
And I'm like, what if it's just a promotion for like a new product he's shucking?
For Amazon?
Yeah, what if it's just
That's exactly what let me tell you. Let me tell you something. And I'm not a LeBron hater by any stretch of the imagination. But I think we can safely say is that LeBron, and this doesn't make him a bad person, and I don't even necessarily think this is a character flaw. But LeBron has proven time and time again that he can be, at times, a very needy individual. Okay? In terms of acknowledgement of his prodigious skills and what he has accomplished, and just the need for attention, right? And again, doesn't make him a bad person at all. This is not something that is unique to LeBron. These are very human traits and desires. But if you think that LeBron is just going to announce a few weeks before the season starts that this is my last season, you wildin'. Please believe that when it happens, we are going to find out many months before the season actually starts. So LeBron's final tour around the league can be one where he is showered with gifts and approval every single time he steps foot in an NBA arena.
I'm not mad. I like a good farewell tour.
I mean, hell, he's earned it whenever he decides to do it. And I don't think it's going to happen in the 2025-2026 NBA season. Now, the 2026-2027 NBA season might be a completely different story.
Yeah, I'm like, call me crazy. Maybe it's just a lifetime of watching people come up with these goofy pranks and these misdirection and all this stuff. I just can't see him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and not only goofy pranks and now with AI, dropping fake videos all over the place. There's no way. And on top of that, with everything being for sale or an advertisement, the first thing I thought of when I saw the decision part 2.
Yep. Yep.
Now,
I mean,
what's he trying to sell right now, or
That's what I'm saying,
who's
like,
using him to
we're
sell
promoting
something? Yeah.
We are promoting something.
Yeah.
We
My
gotta
first
be.
thought is, who's trying to sell me something?
Yep.
What are you trying to sell me? One of those two questions is the first thing that that pops up. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Hey,
Yeah.
I thought Geno Smith would be a net positive for your Las Vegas Raiders football team. So clearly, I've proven to be, you could call it wrong or just not very smart. In this instance, I have a hard time believing that LeBron is going to announce tomorrow that this is his final NBA season. I ain't buying it.
What's a trip to me? And when I think about LeBron and just his longevity, I'm like, wow, I was in my early 30s when this dude came into the league. And I'm in my mid 50s now. It's
been a while. It's been a while.
Right. There are people who have been born and graduated college.
All they know is LeBron.
They don't know life without him. It's a mind fuck, dude.
All they know is LeBron. You know, here's my guess that it just popped into my head about when LeBron will retire. He's not going anywhere. It's just a guess on my part.
Oh.
But I don't think he's going anywhere until he gets some sort of an understanding as to when Steph is going to go. I think he's going to try and stick it out as long as Steph sticks it out. And then figure out where he can slot in his farewell tour around whenever. And I'm not saying he's doing it for any nefarious reason.
Sure.
I'm just saying that I get a sense that he and Steph are tied together.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's Magic and Bird. I mean, let's just be.
There you go. There you go.
They will forever be tied to one another.
There you go.
The two biggest winners of the past decade will forever be tied to one another, and rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Cubs losing to the Brewers in the top of the 7th, 7-3. And as I mentioned, Milwaukee is already jumped out to no, it's 1-0. So they've still got at least one more game, but again, it is a best of 5 series. How about we do some on this date?
Woo-hoo, yeah,
and
baby.
Then we'll roll out of this bad boy. On this date in 1993, speaking of retiring, on this date in 1993, Michael Jordan
number 1
retired for the first time.
And I remember this Sports Illustrated cover. I
think I still have it somewhere in these closets right next to me that you can't see.
Yeah.
I know that cover or that Sports Illustrated is in this closet to my immediate right.
Yeah, dude, it was a trip, and even all the speculation has never really stopped. Like the conspiracy theories around Michael Jordan retiring, quote unquote, the first time will not go away.
And for you young Thundercats that don't know what the conspiracy is, it has been widely believed that Michael Jordan's first retirement wasn't Jordan being tired from playing basketball mentally, mostly, and somewhat physically.
Mm-hmm.
It was David Stern telling Michael Jordan, you have a problem gambling, but we don't want to suspend you for gambling and bring shame on the league. So we're going to force you to take a little sabbatical, to take a chill, get yourself in order, stay out of the casinos. You're giving us a bad look, and then we'll discuss bringing you back down the road. This retirement or sabbatical or David Stern induced timeout lasted for a couple of years. He came back late in 1995 and then was back full time to kicking ass and winning titles in 1996, if my math is correct.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
I'm just not a conspiracy theory guy. I typically don't buy into them, and it could be true. It's possible. Although I do also believe that that's a story that's too juicy for some reporter to just sit on. And I know for a fact, and I know people think that these athletes get protected, but I'm telling you, when you know reporters, you know for a fact, if they got a story like that, ain't nobody sitting on it to cover nobody's ass.
No,
That's coming out.
No, not at all. And it seems more plausible to believe that Jordan, who, fresh off the third of the 6 titles, and also his father got murdered.
Literally right around that time.
Right around that time. You could see it making much more sense that the most famous person on the planet, not named Muhammad Ali, who was still alive at the time, the most famous person on the planet after winning those 3 titles, after the Dream Team in the 92 Barcelona Olympics, and obviously seeing his family go through the worst tragedy imaginable, it makes more sense that he would say, I don't want to play basketball anymore right now. My
head's not in it.
Right.
My daddy was my best friend.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, dude.
My mother just lost her husband. My brothers and sisters like me just lost their father.
Yeah.
My kids just lost their grandfather. So that's much more. And again, because I'm a simple person, I believe in Occam's razor. The simplest explanation is more than likely the actual explanation. That seems more likely and plausible to me than David Stern, who was proven to wield with a heavy hand when he felt as though the sport was having a bad light cast on it. It's still more plausible that Jordan was just tired of playing basketball because of all the things we mentioned, more so than David Stern suspending the most popular player, obviously, in the NBA.
I see Escobar is a complete disagreement. He believes in the conspiracy theory. Escobar, do you really believe that Michael Jordan had the ability to end people's careers? No, boy. No.
No.
If you got a story, if you had a story, you ain't sitting on that story.
No, and see, and here's why. Here's why I disagree with Escobar. Remember how they was hounding Mike for going to casinos during the playoffs? And remember when he had to get on NBC and he was wearing the shades? And, basically he was like, I don't have a gambling problem. I'm rich. Like, people was on Mike's bumper.
He's like, I got it.
About his gambling. Remember when I think he actually got hauled into court because he got he got bamboozled by some golf hustler. Back in Carolina, obviously, where Mike is from. So
that's right.
I mean, it was
Charles out there blowing money at the casino.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. There were a lot of journalists, a lot of NBA writers who felt the need to protect Michael Jordan because it was good for press. The Jordan that we didn't know. That Gatorade be like Mike, always smiling Jordan, that was beneficial to everybody, not just to
and he was kicking it with some of those journalists.
Absolutely. But again,
day and age.
There were enough journalists who were on his ass about his off-court exploits.
Do you think Peter Vesey, if he didn't have 100% information,
there you go.
You get out of here. Come on, man. Of course it's coming out.
There you go. So
what was his name? What was the other guy? Was it Joe Gray? Was that his name?
Oh, Jim Gray.
Gray.
I think he and Jim Gray were boys, though.
Yeah, he'd have told.
I think
he'd have told. That dude, like, I liked him a lot, and he asked tough questions. It was always funny because he was asked tough questions. He had such a stoic face, but he wasn't playing around with people.
I love John Joseph here. All of a sudden now my mouse decides that it doesn't want to work here. I love John Joseph. He says, but once Mike came back, he gambled even more. It's like, why not at this point? He was
plus he came back, he had more money.
Exactly.
Not less. Not less.
So on this date, Michael Jordan retired for the first time. On this date in 1985. Pardon me, folks, we're not going in chronological order. On this date in 1985, the great Jerry Rice got his prodigious touchdown scoring career started.
Montana going deep for Rice, touchdown.
There you go, Jerry Rice in this very short clip, but it tells you everything you need to know. The great Jerry Rice, I believe to be the greatest football player of all time, easily the greatest wide receiver of all time, scored his first touchdown, Jerry Rice's first touchdown of a total of 230.
You know this is old when you see those old Falcons red jerseys. You know
yeah.
it's old.
And I'll run it back here. You know it's old.
Montana going deep for Rice, touchdown.
You saw the baseball infield, even though they had it covered
That's
with grass. You saw
funny.
the baseball infield of old Atlanta Fulton County Stadium.
Fulton County Stadium. And you know it's so funny because I remember they were bashing Bill Walsh for drafting Jerry Rice. They were bashing him throughout the season. They were bashing him. How could you take this guy? Because Jerry could not hold onto that ball. He could not catch. Could not catch for nothing. Bill Walsh just lost it. This is crazy. Guess Bill wasn't that crazy.
He figured it out, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did.
Jerry figured out how to hold on to that football. It just there used to be a time where Jerry Rice wasn't the greatest receiver of all time.
There was a time.
It's crazy. It's crazy. There was a
don't even know
time
who that
before
would have
Jerry
been.
Rice.
I don't even know who that would have been before. Like, that's how long it's been.
I mean,
that's how long it's been.
I'm trying to think here. Who would have been the greatest before Jerry Rice?
I mean, they were talking Lance Allworth. By the way, Lance Allworth, amazing career. If you look at his numbers, like, how are you putting up these numbers and they didn't even throw the ball?
Yeah.
But otherwise, Lynn Swan, John Stallworth, Freddie Biletnikoff.
Yeah, the great Fred Biletnikoff for sure.
No, Freddie Solomon was not among those people. I mean, he was nice, but he was not one of those guys. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't really think of anybody before Jerry.
Nope.
He was that dude.
Nope.
Completely obliterated everybody who was before him.
Yeah, for sure. Jerry Rice scored his first touchdown on this date, October the 6th. We'll stay with sports. And again, we're not going in chronological order. On this day in 2010, Roy Halladay threw a no-hitter in his postseason.
One strike away, the 0-2.
Debut.
Yeah. Bouncer, Ruiz. In time, Roy Halladay has thrown a no-hitter.
He was a good pitcher, man.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Hall of Famer tragically lost Roy Halladay a few years ago. Roy Halladay threw a no-hitter in his first postseason start. Yeah, it was. On this date in 2010. If you're a Giants fan, you're thinking, oh, that's a nice little clip. What else happened in baseball in 2010? Specifically when it came to the Phillies. Well, I don't think I need to tell you. It was a good year for the Giants.
It was a very good year.
It was a very good year. And today was a very good day for Roy Halladay. Threw a no-hitter on this date in his first postseason start. Also on this date in 2010, I'm going to throw this mouse out of the window. Instagram.
Yeah, boy.
The Instagram app was officially released. Yeah.
Look at that.
Changed the world.
Yeah, man. Look at that.
Not necessarily for the better, but it changed the world.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
What a trip. What a trip it is to see that old logo.
Yeah. And was it was basically just like a picture.
Yep.
It was like
picture
different
sharing.
filters. Yeah. You could do like black or white, or you could do sepia toned, or you could do, this, that, or whatever. Now it does not get used for that much, if at all.
So much more. So much more now.
Completely and totally different. But again, it's just like imagining a football world without Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
It's weird to think that there was a world where Instagram, just the idea, the application,
Yeah.
just didn't exist.
Was
It's
not
crazy.
there. And the kids think it's always been there.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
it didn't exist.
Yeah. On this date, October 6th in 2010, Instagram was unleashed up on the
That's a trip.
world. Yeah, it is a trip, right? And on this date in 2020, the greatest to ever do it, the great Eddie Van Halen,
Oh man.
passed away on this date in 2020, passed away from cancer. He was 65
Damn.
years old.
Damn. Yeah, man. What can you say about old Eddie? I mean,
It's he miss him terribly, man.
there.
Miss
I
him
mean,
terribly.
there really is no other human being really associated with guitar like him, other than Jimi Hendrix.
He is one of one, and I call him the Michael Jordan of guitar.
Mm.
He wasn't the first to come along and show you or have you hear how different a guitar could sound in the hands of a human being.
Yep.
But when he got his hands on it, just like when Mike J got into the league, you knew immediately shit was different.
Yep.
It's different. It was different. He was different, and how you were going to view basketball in the case of Jordan, or how you were going to view guitar players in the case of the great Eddie Van Halen, things were different. You didn't see or hear the instrument the same way. That's how innovative and how influential and how iconoclastic Eddie Van Halen was.
Everybody wanted the Eddie guitar feature.
Everybody.
wanted one.
Only one guy got it though, Michael Jackson. But
Everybody wanted one.
or everybody wanted that Eddie Van Halen sound. Everybody wanted a piece of it, but he was the only person who could. He was the only person who could pull that off. And
this generation is missing out. And I'm not saying that their artists suck, because I don't want to say that and be mean. But in terms of just the legends that we've seen over the course of our lives,
mm-hmm.
you look at the cats from a day, and like I can't think of anybody who's going to be going down like in history as an all-time great. Like there's obviously like Beyonce and Taylor Swift and those people, Bruno Mars, some of those, but otherwise, like the pickings is slim for this generation, man.
But the thing is, and I agree with you, but because music now is different.
Yep.
Bands as we know them in the traditional sense, particularly rock bands, they don't really exist anymore on a mainstream level. Yeah, you still have people out there playing, and you still have bands playing, and people making music, and people touring and making money off of actually playing instruments and making music. But as far as it being the dominant paradigm where a young kid, because Eddie Van Halen, if Eric Clapton doesn't exist, you don't have Eddie Van Halen, like young Edward Van Halen from the Netherlands hears Cream for the first time. He hears Clapton and sees Clapton, and he goes, I want to do that. We don't have now anybody who's playing instruments and as a virtuoso, where young kids are now looking and going, oh, I want to do that. And I don't mean this as a slam, but now young kids, if they want to DJ, you know what I mean? Yep. Or they want to sing, or they want to be an entertainer, or they want to rap. That's fine. You don't have anybody that really wants to go pick up a guitar or play the piano or anything. It's just a completely different time. So I don't know if we're going to get sort of that next evolution, because rock music and the case of this conversation we're having, guitar playing is just not at the forefront
It's not.
the way that it used to be.
It's not. Guitars, live instrumentation in general is just.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at it.
No, I'm not either. It's just the way it is.
Everything has its time.
Yeah.
I'm not mad, but I do miss it.
Yeah. Yeah. I miss it too.
I do miss it because part of the fun of being a music fan is discovering new shit
and thinking what's coming next.
Yeah.
What's
it's
coming next?
always exciting to discover some new shit.
Yeah.
And we just don't have that anymore, man.
But this is where, sports and sports is forever. Thank God. We're continuing to get that. There's no Jordan if there's no Dr. J.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's no LeBron if there's no Magic. Well, just talking about LeBron. There have been kids, all they've known is LeBron, and not everybody's going, be 6'8", 230. But the kids have watched LeBron's game for the past 20 plus years and go, I want to do that. Steph, obviously, is a great example of that. Victor Wembanyama, obviously, is a physical freak, but we're seeing the evolution, particularly in basketball, as I'm talking about. We're seeing evolution in sports. You're seeing evolution in football as far as quarterback play is concerned. You're seeing a bit of evolution in baseball, although obviously because of the nature of the sport, it is the slowest to to evolve.
Facts.
But that is the great thing about those sports and other sports that I haven't even mentioned. That there's always going to be an evolution because sports is at the forefront. You wish that music were, but it's not. But there's still kids. And this is what's great about music is that it does live forever. There's some kid out there who today, or maybe tomorrow, or maybe in the next couple of days, is going to hear Eruption for the first time, and it's going to blow that kid's mind. And maybe, just maybe, that'll be the thing that leads to not the next Eddie Van Halen, because there never will be one, but someone who goes, oh, I want to know how to do that. You're only going to get that because of the genius of this guy that we lost on this date in 2020, the great Edward Van Halen. Yeah, man. Cause so glad I got a chance to see him. It's one of the highlights of my non-personal life is getting a chance to see Eddie Van Halen twice. And the last time I saw him, he died the next year, I think, or maybe 2 years. It was dope. Saw him in 2018, July of 2018.
Damn.
And Eddie Van Halen passed away on this date in 2020. So
you got in just under the flag.
I did. And I don't know if I told this story before. Maybe I have. If I have, sorry to repeat it, but I think it's a good story. I actually have the phone. I have it on because this thing here is very valuable to me. See this old iPhone. Went to see Van Halen on the date I just mentioned, July of 2018, with the homie Paulie Mac. Shout out to Paulie Mac and Tony. Paulie Mac's Particles, all the PMP folks out there. The PMP Quality Hand crossover strong. We see you guys in the chat. We love you. But went with Paulie Mac and Tony, and the guy we used to work with, David Drutz. Shout out David Drutz. And I am not a pull out my phone and record things, much to my family's dismay. They hate it. I won't do it. Particularly at concerts. I ain't pulling out my phone to record at concerts. It ain't my type of hype. I don't not necessarily like it when other people do it, but I don't get involved with what other people do. But anyway,
right.
Time for the Eddie Van Halen pyrotechnics, and I'm watching right at the beginning, and a little voice in my head says, "You need to pull your phone out and record this." Because you might not see this again. I obviously had no idea. And I was thinking from a standpoint of, I didn't think I would ever see Van Halen with David Lee Roth. I didn't think I would ever see them. Right. So my little voice was saying that from a standpoint of, they might never tour again. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that Eddie Van Halen, I think my assumption is correct at the time, was dealing with the cancer that would eventually take his life on this day in 2020. So I pulled out my phone and recorded the whole thing. And I don't know if I'll be able to find it here. And I probably run afoul of YouTube copyright laws. So I shouldn't play it anyway.
But you do have it still.
Well, I do have it,
Okay.
and it was unbelievable. And there's one part where he's just bathed in light, and you can't see him, but it's almost ethereal is the word I'm thinking of, to where it just looked otherworldly, and he's just this bright white light, and he's in the midst of a classic Eddie Van Halen guitar solo. And it was, like I said, from a non-personal family standpoint, it's
Yeah.
easily one of the highlights of my life to see that. And unfortunately, not too long after that, we lost him.
Yeah, man, that is a trip that I'm glad you got that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna play it anyway if I can find it. So
I'm glad you got that.
maybe I can vamp here for.
But those things are hard to come by. Like
they're very hard to come by.
those things like that are hard to come by, and we don't. The thing is, we don't think about that being the last time we may see or hear somebody.
Yeah, you are 100%.
And so it's always easy to go, next time.
Yeah. Well, and I kind of learned my lesson on that because, or maybe I haven't learned my lesson because I still haven't seen Stevie Wonder.
Oh.
But I was like, I'll go see the Beastie Boys whenever. Like, I'm not gonna go all the way. I'm not gonna go all the way to Berkeley. Like, yeah, it's a big deal, like going all the way to Berkeley. But I'm like, I'm not gonna go all the way to Berkeley to see the Beastie Boys, man. I'll just have to catch them some other time. And then, unfortunately, cancer, you bastard, strikes again, and we lose MCA, and that is it for the Beastie Boys. So
True,
yeah,
man.
it's if there's a lesson to be learned from my procrastination.
I feel like if you ever get the chance to see a legend, you should take
Go
the
see him.
opportunity to see him
Go
because
see him.
You don't know when you get that chance again.
Go see him. And and it's something I do in sports,
Mm.
where if there's a chance for me to go see
Yeah.
a legend, go see him, because you don't know if you're ever going to see him again.
Yep.
And I unfortunately don't take my own advice when it comes to certain
You take it for granted.
You take it for granted. You take it for granted. I don't have that video. I don't have the video, but when we come back from a brief hiatus that we'll tell you about in just a second, I'll get it back and let you guys see it. But on this date, the world lost, in my estimation, the greatest guitarist of all time. The great Edward Van Halen passed away at the age of 65 years old on this date in 2020. But kind of transition here into the best thing that I saw today, because a group that I thought was over and done with, it's going to be different because this trio is missing a very unique sound, and one of the greatest at his instrument. But best thing I've seen today is that Rush. 2/3 of it anyway.
That's funny.
The surviving 2/3 of it, Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson, are returning.
That's funny.
And they are going to have a somewhat brief tour this upcoming summer,
Smart.
2026. Now,
Smart.
as I mentioned, if you don't know Rush, power trio, and we were talking about trios last week. Rush is the perfect example. All three. Geddy is a bass virtuoso. Alex Lifeson, I think, like Andy Summers of the Police, criminally underrated guitarist. I think he's one of the greatest of all time. And the dearly missed Neil Peart, thought of by many to be the greatest drummer of all time. And if you don't have him at number one, you're probably not going to get past 3 or 4 before he eventually ends up on your list. The thought was that when Neil Peart died a few years ago, because he was so instrumental to the band, and because his style of play seemingly is so irreplaceable, that Rush as a touring band was over. Got this news this morning, and easily it was the best thing I've seen today. Now, I don't know the young lady who is taking over to play drums for Neil Peart, Anika Niles, from Germany. But by all accounts that I've read, I haven't actually seen her play or heard any of her stuff. Been too busy to kind of deep dive. Anika Niles. Supposedly, she's really, really good. Unfortunately, they don't have any stops in the Bay. They're going to be down in LA. But I would love to see them. But hey, as long as Rush, Getty, and Alex are out there, that is a good thing. And to know that they're going to get back in the mix and try something old yet new with a new drummer.
I'm
That's the
watching
best
her
thing I've
right
seen
now.
today. Yeah, supposedly not supposedly, she does have chops. Just because I hadn't seen it.
Yeah, I just want to see what she was.
I mean, listen, man. Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson are not going to get on stage and tour the United States and presumably the world if the person behind them ain't up to snuff.
Oh, she's a beast.
Yeah. So I'm very interested to hear what it sounds like, and I'm excited that those two are back out there. I don't know if this means anything in terms of new music, but Geddy and Alex out there playing Rush, being Rush.
Band.
I love them. I love them.
An interesting band because the funny thing about them is that, and I think the consensus is that they are all great musicians,
without a doubt,
but not the same consensus about them musically.
Yeah, I understand why Rush is an acquired taste or a taste that people can't get down with. I understand. I understand completely if Geddy Lee's voice ain't your type of hype. I understand completely if 8-minute songs.
I ain't got a problem with 8-minute songs.
I know you don't.
70s.
I know you don't, but there are a lot of people who do. I get that. I understand because listen, they're prog rock. And as much as I love prog rock, I understand completely how at times how inaccessible it can be and just how it can just sound like people just wanking off for 8, 10, 12 minutes. I love the band, yes. I absolutely love them.
Like Yes, man.
But man, I mean, they got a guy, who's playing keyboards. He's surrounded by keyboards and he's wearing a cape. Like I could see it. Just be like, really, dog? Really?
That's a Bay Group too, right?
That like who is it? Wakeman. Like, really, homie, you're wearing a cape and you're playing piano. Like, settle down. I get that. I understand why people just don't vibe with Rush, and I don't trip on it. Like, I completely understand it. But those of us who do love it and who do get it, fans forever, dog.
For real.
Yeah.
Real.
But I've only gotten a chance to see them once, and I'm glad I did. It was, Metallica at the Fillmore as they were getting ready for the Saint Anger tour. That's the best concert I've ever seen in my life. At a half full Fillmore. Right behind that was Rush at Concord Pavilion. I don't remember when this was, somewhere in the mid 2000s. Those are the three best musicians I've ever seen in my life on stage at one time. Yeah, flat out. So I'm glad, as much as we would all wish that Neil Peart was still with us. Glad that Geddy and Alex feel like it's the right time with the right person. This new young lady drummer, it's the right time with the right person to get out there and do it. And they're gonna catch a lot of shit. They're gonna catch a lot of shit from Rush fans and non-Rush fans. I'm glad that they're doing it. They know what they're getting into, and I appreciate that they're going to face some stiff headwinds, and they're not going to allow that to knock them off their axes. So Rush getting back together, that's the best thing that I have seen.
Sweet.
Today.
Sweet.
All right. Quick programming note here before we go. No live Quality Hang this Wednesday and Friday. Got some family stuff to take care of. We will be back in the saddle again live on Monday, and we'll be back at our normal time at 8 o'clock with our normal shenanigans. But I do want to announce something that I'm so excited about. One of my favorite people that I've gotten a chance to know a little bit on a personal level, and a guy who has made me laugh for a long time, not just from his stand-up comedy, and not just from his days as a Daily Show correspondent. I go back with this guy from his days in radio. and local radio in Birmingham, Alabama, and doing a nationally syndicated show. And he would do prank calls that were absolutely legendary. I had a chance today to talk to, again, one of my absolute favorite people, and someone who has entertained me, and I know entertained a lot of you out there for years. I had a chance to chop it up with the homie Roy Wood Jr. earlier today, and I'm so excited that I was able to do that, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear it. So I don't know if I'm gonna run it on Wednesday or Friday. It's going to be one of the two, but I will send out a post on X and on Blue Sky.
That's sweet. Love Roy.
That I'm going to do it. But yeah, man, had a chance to chat with Roy, and we got into a bunch of stuff. We got into his Cubs and his Dolphins, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to be any good for his Cubs. Looks like they're going to go down 2-0 to the Brewers.
He's a Cubs fan.
He's a Cubs fan.
Interesting.
And he's a Dolphins fan, and he's a Charlotte Hornets fan. And he pokes fun at himself for being a fan of all three of those teams.
How does that happen?
Well, so his pops got such an interesting story. His father is a radio and journalism legend, and his pops was real big in Chicago, from Birmingham, but his pops is real big in Chicago. Here's a quick bit of lore. His pops was stopped by a police officer in Chicago in the late 60s. That police officer was named Don Cornelius.
Get out of here.
And Roy Wood Jr.'s father, Roy Wood Sr., gave Don Cornelius a little bit of change to start Soul Train. Right?
Get out of here.
Yeah, like his dad's story is wild and interesting, but there's a Chicago connection. So that's how Roy became a Chicago Cubs fan. He loved the Dolphins like a lot of kids did, because when they were winning in the 80s, they were winning and it looked cool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that didn't keep up. And I think he's just a glutton for punishment at this point, becoming a Charlotte Hornets fan. But we talked about that. We talked about what he did last year and what he continues to do to highlight Black folks in baseball. He was instrumental in telling the story of the Negro League players and Birmingham, Alabama's Major League Baseball history with the Rickwood Field game last year that the Giants played in. We got into a real good discussion about historically Black colleges and universities and how and baseball programs in there. We just had a ton of fun just chopping it up about a bunch of stuff. And like I said, man, Roy, just getting a chance to know him over the last few years, funny as all get out, but one of the smartest guys you will ever run across. He's got a show on CNN now, a really funny show, really topical news show called Have I Got News for You? That drops every week on CNN. His latest stand-up, Lonely Flowers, on Hulu. You can catch that. And he also has a book coming out and a book tour around that book coming out in a couple of months called Man of Many Fathers. So, man, so excited that Roy and I finally were able to chop it up here and find some time. And like I said, we're either going to play that on Wednesday or Friday in lieu of live quality hangs this week, and then we'll be back live on Monday, on next Monday. So there you go. There you go.
Sweet.
Look, quick programming notes. On that note, how about we get on up out of here? And it is official, by the way. The Brewers are up now 2-0 on the Cubs as they're looking to round out their best of 5 series with a win here in the not too distant future. Thanks to our presenting sponsor, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns, 3 locations to choose from. Make sure you check them out online at hopmonk.com. Better yet, make sure you check them out in person in Sonoma, Sebastopol, or in Novato. All right, my man, that's it.
Yes, sir.
One of the Mondayest of Mondays of all time.
Yeah, we'll have another one coming up soon.
All right, everybody, have yourselves a fantastic week. We will see you again next Monday. Be good and be good at it. We'll see you. Bye.